States. It's Mark from the United States.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, Mark from the States. Hi, how you doing? I'm doing, of course, fantastic. I'm wearing the prison outfit that so many of you have commented on. It is cold this morning, and I can't find my other sweatshirt, so you tend to see the same tops that I'm wearing over and over because I usually do my videos early in the morning and I'm not really getting dressed for the day. Some of it is what I wore to bed. Sometimes others is I just throw on a sweatshirt that I have near myself when I sit down. This one was hanging on this chair. So this is what I'm wearing today. Not that you care. Just thought I'd say it. Anyway, no cats today. They were off, both of them, having a little squabble. Leo, our tripod, he seems to think Violet likes him. What he doesn't know is Violet, ever since the day we brought him home, has not liked him and finds him to be a nuisance. And so they spend half the day apart because she tries to just hide from him or just stay away from him for that matter. And he always seems to think she wants to play or at least allow him to invade her personal space. Occasionally she does not like that and she will swat him, hiss at him, do the normal cat things. He doesn't do any of that stuff. He doesn't make noises. He doesn't get mad at her. He thinks it's all part of the game. And he's pretty funny. He's got no shame whatsoever. Every day he'll try to get up into Violet's business, and every day she swats him away and tells him to hit the road. So they have this little back and forth. I can only imagine what they do while we're not here. I like to think they just kind of sleep in their own different rooms, but based on the interactions that I've seen over the years, it's probably a lot what I imagine. He puts up the effort to try to bug her. I think what it comes down to, he just likes messing with her. So cats, funny creatures. Okay, so yeah, come sit on this big fake couch. Today we're revisiting the Bimblist, Kieran, and today his video of his travels are going to take us the other way to Blackpool. This has come suggested, so thank you so much. Please go support Kieran and his channel, the Bimblist. God, why am I forgetting what the name of his channel is? The Bimble. I'm going to have to get out of this just so I can see what it says. Bimblism. That's all. Bimblism. So yeah, please go support his channel. He's wonderful. One of the main reasons I love this channel is the music. Apparently he's the one creating the music. It's awesome. And if you are out there, Kieran, please email me and let me know how to get some of your music. With that said, let's get into it. This is the other way to Blackpool.
Good morning, Bimblers. And you join me here at Kirkham and Wesham Station. And today, we're on our way into Blackpool. Hopefully the sun's going to come out. We've been from Blackpool to Kirkham before, along National Cycle Route 62, in my National Cycle Route 62 Bimbles, my Trans Pennine Bimble. But today, we're going the other way, to see what we see. So let's stop messing about and let's bimble.
Whoa. These shots of when he speeds up his cycling always freaks me out sometimes. I know in real time it's probably doesn't look half as bad as it does when they're sped up, but it can get kind of freaky out there. When I ride my bike, I know it's kind of frowned upon to ride your bicycle on the sidewalk, but if there's nobody, I usually go ride early in the morning, and there's generally nobody there. And if there's somebody on the sidewalk, of course I jump off and get on the road, but I like to spend most of my time as far away from vehicles as possible.
Minimal force is the groove, magnetically brought me to you. Visions that cut through the cold to my heart. Feelings of warmth now resume, feeling that coming from you. Bursting to blow at the seams of my heart. As if this was love that I felt, falling for somebody else. Taking my eyes from the ground, turning my heart upside down. As if this could change all the past, fixing the bruise from the last time that I felt anything. As if this was love that I felt, as if this was somebody else.
Oh my gosh.
And so, Bimblers, we reach our first portage, Ray Green. It's very picturesque, very cute and very quaint. There's lots of little signs here and lots of ducks on the duck pond. And they've got a Victorian post box with VR on the front. That stands for Victoria Vagina. So it goes back to when Victoria was queen. Ray Green wasn't always known as Ray Green. That came in around about the 1800s, no doubt with the coming of that post box. It used to just be called Ray, but they used to get it mixed up with another Ray near Hornby, near Lancaster. And when you were sending out your letters, it could be posted in the wrong end of Lancashire. Closer to Cumbria up there, aren't they? So they changed the name to Ray Green, naming it after this great big green thing in the middle of the village. It's rather the focal point. There's a few old bylaws about this green from bygone times, and they go as follows. No person shall drive or wheel any cart, truck or other vehicle onto the village green. No
Makes
person
sense.
shall beat or shake carpets or rugs. No person shall dig, cut or remove any sods. No
Okay.
person shall light a fire. No person shall hold a public meeting, religious, political or otherwise, on the green.
I like that.
Very strict. But one thing that wasn't very cute about Ray Green.
Before we get in, I agree with all this stuff, but the carpet, no banging of the carpet, that must have been a thing, is taking it out there and beating your carpet. Yeah, I know it was probably, before we had vacuums, of course, but it's just hearing old laws, and we've done videos on such things, and it's just, I just love, and they're probably still in the books, so it's probably still technically illegal to do that. So, yeah, keep your carpets close to your house, people.
Came in 1897. They were hit by a plague of sparrows, and a bounty was put on the sparrows' heads. The people of Ray Green could get half an old pence for any sparrows' eggs or dead sparrows that they handed in. So obviously people were going out and killing all the sparrows.
Sure.
And if you look around today, there's not a sparrow to be seen. It's all ducks. As if Ray Green couldn't get any more perfect for me, they've got a little church over there, St. Nicholas's Church. And that was built by Edward Graham Paley in his first partnership of Sharp and Paley. And they built it back in 1849. But get on this.
Brand new.
In 1894, when it became fashionable to have steeples on your churches, lest we forget, a lot of churches didn't have steeples until the late Victorian era. Well, Edward Graham Paley came back under his second partnership, Paley and Austin, with Hubert Austin. And they put the spire on. And it cost £1,300 for that spire, which was a lot of money back then, especially when you consider that the rest of the church only cost £1,600. All in today's money, that church would have been worth £300,000. Expensive stuff. But speaking of churches, let's bimble. Brought out some colourful sparks, brought back to light from the dark, broke out in shimmering waves to my heart. Sepia tint but the same, familiar in simplified ways, broke down the lily white scars to my heart. As if this was love that I felt, falling for somebody else, taking my eyes from the ground, turning my heart upside down. As if this could change all the past, fixing the bruise from the last time that I felt anything. As if this was love that I felt, as if this was somebody else.
Oh.
This is St Michael's Church here in Wheaton, and I can look over the graveyard, across the dual carriageway, and see the Blackpool Tower. It means we're getting close, Bimblers.
Yes.
St Michael's Church here in Wheaton wasn't built by Edward Graham Paley. It was built by another fella called Edwin Hugh Shellard. He built lots of churches around the northwest, but why I find him interesting is because he built some of the buildings around Ross Hall School. If you know anything about Ross Hall School, it used to be Ross Hall Hall, and it was where Sir Peter Hesketh Fleetwood lived before he built the town of Fleetwood. He invented Fleetwood. He invented railways to the seaside. Therefore, he invented bimbling down the promenade at Blackpool. And as a byproduct, he also invented my favourite chippy in Fleetwood. Sir Peter Hesketh Fleetwood rented his hall to Ross Hall School for 10 years. And whilst he was building Fleetwood, the town, he came into some money worries. So he actually sold the hall to the school. And then they got Edwin Hugh Shellard to build him a nice assembly room called Big School. Mr. Shellard's finest work is supposed to be St John's Minster in Preston. That's according to Nicolaus Pevsner. He's the author of Buildings of England, which is often cited when you're talking about all these Victorian architects. I'm going to have to get myself a copy of it, really, aren't I?
Yeah.
The land that St Michael's Church stands on was donated by the 13th Earl of Derby and Edward Smith Stanley, and he was the MP for Preston between 1796 and 1812. In 1812, he was beat by a fella called Edmund Hornby. As a tenuously related fact, Edmund Hornby had a son called Edmund George Hornby, and he was the first MP for Warrington. He was MP for Warrington between 1832 and 1835. That's around about the same time that Sir Peter Hesketh Fleetwood would have been the MP for Preston. Even more tenuous, but linked to our last bimble, the second MP for Warrington was John Island Blackburn. We mentioned him in our last bimble because he used to live at Hale House. And it took me researching St Michael's Church here in Wheaton to find out that little nugget. Let's bimble.
I love this guy.
As if this was love that I felt, falling for...
Now, to be honest, a lot of those names, no idea who they are. You know, they're just names to me. If you live in the area, though, I imagine a lot of them are prominent. I mean, these are people who build things. A lot of them are MPs, of course, and other type statures. So But to me, yeah, nothing. They mean nothing to me, but, or not so much they mean nothing, they just don't, I don't know who they are. But it's that church that we'd seen earlier was, I said brand new because it's, it was only built in the 1800s. But I love when he just goes and we're just seeing the countryside and the streets and then the neighborhoods and then the more well-traveled, vehicle-traveled parts of towns. And, we're not like in London. So big cities, with tall buildings. We're just in just local villages or smaller towns. And it's just, how the rest of us live, if you will. And it's just interesting. A lot of traffic, a lot more traffic, at least in this video, than I'm imagining. So just little things is, for me, an outsider. I imagine a lot of his videos, to the people that live in the areas that he is covering, is probably really interesting. I don't know anything about these areas, so I'm kind of watching it for the first time, trying to pick out what, where most people are looking at it as, oh yeah, I know that place, and yeah, I remember him, and oh, I didn't know that's who did. I'm like going, oh wow, that's a cool looking building. Oh, look at those hedges, those sort of things. I'm just looking at what I can visually see, with no connection to it whatsoever. But I don't know if that makes any sense, but that's where I'm at.
Somebody else taking my eyes from the ground, turning my heart upside down, as if this could change all the past, fixing the bruise from the last time that I felt anything, as if this was love that I felt, as if this was somebody else.
Uh-oh. Sounds like he's got a broken chain, maybe? Well, if you're going to spend a lot of time on your bike, it's good to know how to fix it. Please don't do a turn here. That's probably someone's driveway. Post box. Wow. Oh, fine. What does that say?
Hopefully tight enough, Bimblers, to make it to our next portage. That's Bimble.
These roads are narrow for having a bicycle.
To me, you were a warming hand that melts to the bone. The flowers grown from my heart. To you, I was a drifting line, drawn between a light to capture, but only show.
Yeah, when there's a cars parked on the side of the road like that. See, this is, I love this. That's a brief glimpse.
Clouds get the light from those eyes.
Oh, this is cool.
Love grown
water. I was saying that was cool, just going through the town there. It's just, it gives me kind of just an idea of just the makeup, the layout, if you will, of these smaller towns and portions, that he travels through. And I just love how the roads are so small. They're narrow, of course, and it not obviously wasn't created with bicycles in mind, like the modern roads are nowadays. But and then we just jump onto this path, and these paths will go forever, which is just awesome. It makes me want to do a Bimble in my town, and just put the GoPro on the bike, and I can literally go from one end of my town to the other end and back in about three. I think I've done it in about 3 hours. So it's definitely doable. I think it would be fun. Now I just need to get a GoPro. I've been wanting one because I've been wanting to get out and film more. But anywho, I guess you can do it with your phone. But yeah, I just love the bike paths or walking paths, foot paths, whatever. We've always discussed this in a lot of our videos. It's just one of the things that makes your area so special.
And you know I'll never let it go. You'll find in time I'll never let it go. You'll find it's right. I'll only ever know how to speak my mind. I'll only ever know how to speak my mind. To me it was a long mistake. To me it was a golden handshake to reapply those lazy arms in my heart. To you it was a dream it mended. To you it was a dream suspended to relocate.
And now we're just in a completely different part of the...
Over time, clouds kept the light from those eyes.
Where are we?
Love grows.
Oh, here we go.
Well, Bimblers, we reached Stanley Park and the sun's come out. I'm going to have to put some sun cream on in a minute. We've bimbled to Stanley Park in a previous Bimble. That would be my Blackpool 2 Bimble. Should probably watch it. I told you all about the ringtail parakeets and the Cocker Tower and the fact that the zoo's just around the corner and the boating lake and the Art Deco cafe. But what I didn't know at the time was just outside of the main gates of the park is a very rare post box. I've only just got into these post boxes, but I've got into it hard. I'm forever looking at post boxes on Google, going on Google Street View and seeing if I can see the royal ciphers, see if there's any interesting ones for me to visit on my Bimbles. And there's definitely an interesting one here at Stanley Park, an Edward VIII post box.
Wow.
If you know anything about Edward VIII, he wasn't king for very long. He became king on the 20th of January 1936 when his father George V died. And he was only king for 11 months, up until December 1936. He was the firstborn son of George V, which meant that he was the Prince of Wales before he was the king. He even visited Blackpool whilst he was the Prince of Wales. Back in 1921, the royal train pulled up into Fleetwood Station. That's right, Fleetwood had a train station. That's the whole reason Fleetwood was invented, to get trains to the seaside. It's really weird that they don't have a train station now, but that's for a different Bimble. The royal party went on to Ross Hall School, which is where Sir Peter Hesk of Fleetwood used to live. They went on from there to Blackpool Promenade, which is where we're off next. And then they went to St Anne's and Lytham and Kirkham, where we started today's Bimble, and then Preston. It's almost as if they followed National Cycle Route 62. I don't think they were on their bicycles. From there, they went off to Chorley and Leyland and finished the day at Wigan. And that's where the Prince of Wales got back on a train and went back to Buckingham Palace. Anyway, Edward, when he was the Prince of Wales, was a bit of a player. He liked to drink, he liked to go to parties, and he liked having lots of girlfriends. One of his girlfriends was called Wallis Simpson.
Yeah.
She was an American woman. Before she was Wallis Simpson, she was Wallis Spencer. And her maiden name was Warfield. She'd been divorced twice. And he wanted to marry her. And when he became king, that was a big no-no. You weren't allowed to marry a divorced woman and then become king. So he was told that he wasn't to marry her. He became king, and after 11 months, he decided to abdicate so that he could marry Wallis Simpson. It's quite a nice story, really, isn't it? It's a bit like Charles and Camilla, only no one died as a result of it. After he abdicated, his brother George became the king, and he became George VI. There's lots of post boxes with his royal cipher on as well. He had a daughter named Elizabeth, and she became Elizabeth II, or as we know her, the Queen. Anyway, let's bimble.
I actually knew that for the first time.
Over time, clouds kept the light from those eyes. Still,
I think one of the things we can all agree on, the problem with Edward is that, he should never get involved with an American woman. If you're in the royalty, I think there's other occasions of royalty getting. Well, of course we have a current one. Stay away from the American women. If you're in the royal family, they're just going to bring you. They're just going to cause a lot of problems. Apparently. Hey, love's love.
love grown concealed, and I'll never let it go. You'll find in time, I'll never let it go. You'll find it's right. I'll only ever know how to speak my mind. I'll only ever know how to speak my mind.
Oh, see, this right here is awesome. I would love to ride my bike down a street like such as this. I love how you see it right here on the road. Hey, bikes this way. Yeah, really cool. A lot of room. Some shops. Yeah, really cool. The Eiffel Tower. There's a part of me that wants to go to Blackpool. It does look like the Eiffel Tower. Oh, getting some grub. Wait, is that the Blackpool Tower he was talking about, or is that something else? Now, we've done a video, and an obelisk thing, okay? We've done a video that I think it was Adventure Me who went to Blackpool, or there was some amusement park there at one time, way back when. Go and find it if you were interested. But Blackpool looks, from what I understand, it either has people either really love it or people really can do without. Has like one of those reputations of hit or miss. I'm curious. I'm kind of curious about it, and would, if I'm obviously not my first visit, but maybe on subsequent visits, I could, I would want to swing by there at least for the day. Oh, outdoor golf, putt-putt golf.
And so we reached Journey's End, Bimblers. North Pier. Just been and had some chips and had a little walk down the prom. take in the sights and sounds of Blackpool. But now it's time to talk about North Pier, isn't
See,
it?
that's cool.
It's a major focal point. Just after the Blackpool Tower, you think of North Pier, don't you, when you think about Blackpool? The pier was built between 1862 and 1863 by a clever chap called Eugenius Birch. Eugenius graduated from the Institute of Civil Engineers, and he went into partnership with his brother, John Brannis Birch. And then they went off to India to help and build some railways. The East Indian Railway from Delhi to Calcutta. And when they came back to the UK, they found that everyone was obsessed with the seaside, as they should be. They started designing things for the seaside, Ilfracombe Harbour and the aquarium in Brighton. In 1857, they designed Margate Pier, or Margate Jetty as it used to be known, before they built the big pier. When it was still a stone jetty, Turner did a painting of it. If you didn't see the title of the painting, I don't think you'd know that it was supposed to be a jetty. The pier that the Birch brothers both built was destroyed in 1977 by a storm, and what was left of that was destroyed even further in 1978. They eventually dismantled it in 1998 by blowing it up. The second pier that Eugenius and John built was North Pier here in Blackpool. It uses Eugenius Birch's famous screw pile legs that go all the way into the sand, deeper than any of the other piers. That's probably why North Pier is still standing.
Right.
When it was built, North Pier was always the posh pier, the place where the well-to-do people went. They used to charge us to get in. In fact, they used to charge us to get down the pier up until 2011. Back then, they would have had orchestral performances and high-profile comedians, but very clean comedians. Not like today with your Joey Blower and your guest appearances from Chubby Brown. Eugenius and John Birch went on to make lots of other piers, most of which were destroyed by storms. Billy Wynn doesn't like these piers. He likes to destroy them. He doesn't like me doing these pieces to camera either.
That's cool. Look at that. Very enjoyable. Well done. Well done. Please go and support him and Bimbleism. It's a fun channel. I mean, come on. He's enjoyable to watch. I enjoy the sped up bicycle scenes because, you know, it's pretty harrowing watching them avoid traffic, little dogs and people. But also, he points out some things. Maybe there's some things you didn't know. And, of course, everything I didn't know, but except the King Edward and the abdicating of the throne. I did know that, but it's cool about the mailboxes that, you know, he wasn't on the throne for very long, and there are some mailboxes out there. That's great. I can totally see one getting into, and Kieran, of course, has gotten into it pretty hard, he says, mailboxes. Well, they're like works of art when you think about it, and a lot of historical backgrounds to them and importance, of course, and they're still functioning. So perfect. Our mailbox is here, not that way, pretty boring. So they really go largely unnoticed. So I really dig having the cipher on them and all that stuff. So when I do come to visit, I will definitely be on the lookout on the different mailboxes that I come across and to spot who the mailbox, when the mailbox, or not so much when the mailbox was created, but, you know, whose cipher is on there. Anyway, I hope everybody is happy, healthy, and safe. And I hope you have a wonderful day. Thanks for hanging out. Have a great day. All right, bye-bye.
Mark from the States, Mark from the States, it's Mark, and he's from